Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Maliha Abidi. Um, we're just gonna wait for a few people to join, and then we can get started. I think I'm just gonna give it like a minute, and then we can go from there. Um, yeah. This is the most awkward part, like in the beginning when you're waiting for people to join, and then I can start talking. Yeah, can start blabbering. A few more seconds and then we can start. Sorry, my computer over here so that I can answer some of the questions. All right, I think I'm gonna get started now. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Maliha Abidi, and I'm the artist and the author of Pakistan for Women, and that's what I'm here to talk to everyone about. I'm truly grateful to Liberty Books for giving me the opportunity to come live and talk to some of the readers, and I think this will be available for like viewing later as well. I will be giving away a copy of Pakistan for Women for all the people who joined the live today, and at the end of the session, I will be picking a winner. Um, so yeah, um, I would like to talk to you about the book, of course, and the journey on how it came about into existence. And so the journey for this book is quite unorthodox. And this book was published last year on the 4th of March 2019. So it's been a little over a year since it's been out in the world. And Alhamdulillah, I've been able to ship this book to over 40 countries around the world. So it's not just, our Pakistani people who have embraced the book and the stories in it, but many people from around the world have gotten a chance to get to know these stories. So the book is about 50 inspirational Pakistani women, and the stories vary from all different backgrounds within Pakistan, because Pakistan is a very beautiful country, and we have so many different people from different backgrounds, different religious beliefs, and I think that's what makes Pakistan so amazing. And keeping all of that in mind, I wanted to have a lot of diversity in Pakistan. So even though this book is about Pakistani women, within Pakistan we have so much diversity that that I wanted to include all of that in the book. Having said that, there are only 50 stories in it, but in the future, inshallah, I do plan on coming out with a volume 2 and include more stories. I have included stories of women like firefighters, mountaineers, educators, activists, and one of my main motivations for that is that why I wanted to include such a diverse account of not only ethnicities but but different fields was that I think sometimes we kind of suppress creativity, and in ourselves and in others as well. We sometimes say, okay, like you need to get educated, but only in a certain field. For example, you can only become a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, and the fourth option is become a failure, I guess. But that's just a joke. Like that's just some people believe that. That's not believed by a lot of people, and I hope it's slowly changing as well. But we sometimes don't pay attention to so many other creative fields or so many other ways that we can make a difference. So because of that, I just think, sorry, I was just reading a comment. I just think that adding these stories was really important because I wanted I wanted to put an account out there that if you encourage your kids to pursue their own passion, they will be able to achieve success just like these women in Pakistan for Women did. And so, like I said, firefighter, mountaineer, astrophysicist. So, I wanted to include women in science, women in literature, women in education, women in politics. And that's a little, sorry, wrong way. That's a little poster that I created of Pakistan for Women as well. So, these are 25 of the women from the book. I'm just going to show you. So, Abda Parveen, this is the first. Um, it's alphabetical, so that's the first illustration. Then we have Ada Jafri. I just want to show a few of the pages of the book. Of course, we have Asma Jangir. They're just some women that, like, without mentioning them, we cannot talk about Pakistan, you know. So then we have Bilkis Edi. She's an incredible woman, of course. Fatma Ali Jinnah. And just want to show a few of the portraits. My Thai. So I did all of the artwork and the writing for this book, and the artwork has a really funny story. So I basically used to work at an art store. So right now I'm in my art studio surrounded by my art supplies, but I basically used to work in my art studio and just creating these portraits all night long because I'm a full-time university student. So I'm a medical neuroscience student. And on the weekends, I used to work at an art store. And by working at that art store, I was able to afford the art supplies because art supplies can be super expensive. So combining my paycheck from the part-time job plus my employee discount, that's how I was able to because I don't work with digital art, I work with traditional art. So that's how I was able to afford the art supplies. And then just staying up all night working on the books, I was able to interview some of the amazing women in the book as well, and just get a unique perspective on their stories as well. I think I'm going to check a few. Okay, I'm just gonna check a few of the comments. So Hajra was really kind. Hajra said, "Love you, Maliha. Love you too, Hajra. Thank you so much." Um, which book do you recommend for gender studies? I think read articles. I think that would be the best. Just because books. I think start with articles because articles can really talk about one specific topic, and then books can. There are some really nice books. Let me think about it and answer it in a bit. Oh, hopefully, if not later. Yeah. All these are painted by you. Yes. So like I said, stayed up all night, pulled all nighters, went to the class in the morning, and then I went on. And thank you so much for everyone who is, um, sending in really supportive comments. Next, I would like to talk about. Um, I want to talk about why I wrote this book. So I spoke a little bit about the profession side of it. Another motivation for me to write this book was the impression of Pakistan. So basically, I'm not really sure whether yeah. So basically, in Pakistan, like we know our problems. We know what is wrong with our country, what's amazing about our country. But when you are outside of Pakistan, the media really plays around with whatever stories they want to play on their channel. And some of them are really biased, some of them are very ignorant as well. And that has created a very negative, negative image of Pakistan. And I wanted to, and Pakistan is seen as this country where women are oppressed and children are oppressed. And I will not say that, oh, Pakistan is perfect and we don't have these problems, because that's being in denial. I do understand that we do have these problems, but we also have amazing stories, and these women in the book are solving so many of the problems that Pakistan have. So we can, just because we are talking about problems in a country, that doesn't mean that we forget to celebrate incredible stories from that country. So I just think that that was really important to highlight that as well. That this through this account, I wanted to highlight that we need to celebrate stories of these women, and also in a patriarchal society, I just feel that we do need to acknowledge the contributions of these women, whether we're talking about in sports and science and education and politics. So we do need to highlight stories of women, because so many women who have contributed in a huge way to Pakistan have been left behind, and we need to highlight their story. Next, I would like to talk about journey to publication. So this book, like I said, is a very unorthodox sort of a book. And when I made the announcement for the book, so um, yeah, when I was close to finishing the work on the book, I was like, okay, so what's the next step? The next step was publishing, and I wasn't sure how I'm going to go about it, but I was very eager to like put this book out there. And so I took the self-publishing route, where but it wasn't easy, obviously, because I'm not like, publishing takes a lot of money. And that's why authors, when they work with publishers, authors are not, sometimes they are, but sometimes, like, many of the traditional publishing route is that you're not paying for publishing, your publishers. So I took the self-publishing route, and I did crowdfunding on Kickstarter, where people were able to pre-order their copies, and from that money, I was able to publish this book. And Alhamdulillah, the response was incredible, because this book was featured on BBC, on Good Morning America, on TRT, on Now This, and not only on Geo News, not only in national television, but also international media picked it up. And because they wanted to learn about stories of these women, these Pakistani women. And these are stories, like, some of the stories, like, we as Pakistanis would know, of course, because it's our country, and we know some of the stories, but so many stories are not known by a lot of people. And so the crowdfunding was a success, and I was able to raise the money for the publication of the book. And that's how Pakistan for Women came into existence. Um, so next, I think that's pretty much it of the journey about Pakistan for Women. Um, when is your next book coming? Hope we will get to see another collection of amazing paintings. Um, so that's a very good question. So I, inshallah, am working on um, yeah, so I'm working on a project currently, and inshallah, I'm gonna be sharing more information about it soon. And I just loved working on projects like Pakistan for Women and other art projects, because I was able to combine my passion for writing and my passion for art, and bring it all together and share it with all of you. So that's something that was really exciting for me. Um, and I'm trying to think, like, what else is there for like that I can share regarding Pakistan for Women. So as I said, this book is self-published, and this was printed in Pakistan as well. So I wanted to make sure that, because it's a Pakistani book, if this book is being printed, I get it printed in Pakistan, because like, it's a huge sum of money that's going towards someone who's working in Pakistan, and that's something that I kept in mind. This book is available, of course, on Liberty Books website, but also on in different bookstores in here in England. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to Pakistan for Women. Like I summarized um, the this project, and there was a huge list of women that I had to pick from. I actually don't have my notebook around, but there was like a list of women that I wanted to include. And without, like, when I first thought about the idea, which was like about 2.5 years, no, 3 years ago now, 3 years ago, that I thought about writing Pakistan for Women. And that's when the journey started as well. But obviously, I took my time just because being a full time student, it took me like a little bit of time to, um, write the entire book and illustrate everything. And yeah, so I'm just gonna check. Uh, how you get all these of the emails? Okay, so Hajar is asking, how did I get all these stories? So I researched through uh different um different ways. For example, some of the stories I was able to interview the women. Some of the women are no longer with us. There was, like, I wasn't able to, of course, I had to get their stories through like books or different interviews and articles, and or sometimes like even family members. And yeah, so the research part of the book, what took the longest, because the art part was super fun and it's something that I'm super comfortable with. But when it comes to research, there is a huge responsibility to, of course, share the information, and the accurate information, of course. So you can't just read, let's say, if you're writing about someone, you can't just read like Wikipedia and just write a story. Because online, it's that's not the most um, trustworthy trustworthy platform, of course. Yeah, so because yeah, online, like, some articles are just keep in mind like what's the credible source. um Next, like I said, I was able to interview some of the women. Books, that was a really good source to be able to find um different points about different stories. And what else was in the writing part? Yeah, sometimes I didn't know like how the story is coming along, so I had to like just scratch everything and start from the beginning. And just do like a lot of research. I was able to find some very interesting things that I didn't know already about it. And yeah, I didn't know about different women in the book, and that was pretty interesting. For example, in the case of Viru Kohli, just gonna take out her portrait over here. Okay. This is a portrait of Viru Kohli, and she is someone who escaped modern day slavery in Pakistan. So um, when she escaped, she wanted, of course, she had to leave her family behind as well. But she went to the police, and the police was not able to help her because the man she was working for, who was trying to, trap so many like her into this modern day slavery kind of a work, the police was not able to help her because they the man was super powerful, so they were scared to take stands against him. But she protested and she stayed in that police station for 3 days, and then the police directed her to the Human Rights Commission. So she went to the Human Rights Commission, and then the Human Rights Commission was able to help Viru Kohli. But what's interesting is that Asma Jahangir, who is another woman in the book, and she's a human rights activist, and she was a human rights activist and an amazing lawyer as well, and she fought for women's rights and human rights, and she was the co-founder of Human Rights Commission Pakistan. So it's incredible, like how, like if you make an effort, if you start something, how it can later impact so many other people. And then once Veera Kohli received help from the Human Rights Commission, she was then able to free thousands and thousands of other people who were in the similar situation as her. So it's that, it's so interesting to think that, you know, our efforts, like even if you make, well, like creating or co-founding a Human Rights Commission is nothing small, but it's just interesting to see how, if you create something, how it can help others. Just gonna check the comments again. What should we do as a society to motivate Pakistani women to achieve something extraordinary? So, Mr. Jamil Ali Ahmed is asking, what should we do as a society to motivate Pakistani women to achieve something extraordinary? I think Pakistani women are pretty motivated. I don't think we need to motivate them in any way. I think all we need to do is support them by, you know, like not restricting them, because even though, I think I think s- um, I think women already have a voice, and women are motivated. It's just that we need to make sure we support them. We're there for them, because they would feel, I think, more powerful, and like I think moral support can really help. So if you see, like someone, they want to achieve something, but like someone else is like stopping them for whatever reason, I think if you support them in that, if you encourage them to keep going, believe in themselves. I know it sounds like a cliche, like believe in yourself, but like that's literally that's like one of the best things you can do for yourself. And also like keep going, like work hard, even if you don't see, like if you don't see a result right away. uh Trust me, it does come around. Your hard work does pay off. Even when I was creating Pakistan for Women, I didn't know who will read this book. I honestly thought like one or two people are going to read this book, and I was happy with that, because I wanted to make sure that, uh, even if one person reads these stories, that was good enough for me. But alhamdulillah, this was well received, and it reached a lot of people, and it reached little girls. So there was a 14-year-old girl in Australia. She sent me this huge message that I still have in my laptop. And she basically said that I was born in Australia, but my family was born in Pakistan, like her parents. And she said that when I'm around my friends, I feel ashamed I used to feel ashamed of being a Pakistani, because all of my friends are either white, or they like I never found anything that I could be proud of, um, from my Pakistani identity. So she basically thought that being a Pakistani was something to be ashamed of. And keep in mind, she's a 14-year-old girl. She had only been to Pakistan, I think, once, so she never knew. And she probably got her news from the TV as well, like so many others outside of Pakistan do. So she was ashamed of that part of her identity. And then she messaged saying that I was so happy to read this book and find out about so many inspirational women. And that message seriously like was so life changing for me, because in that moment, even if that was the only girl that read my book, I like that would have been enough for me. But the fact that she took the time and to share something so personal, I was moved by that. And I thought in that moment that all those late nights, and you know, working on the weekend for the art supplies and the research, and a lot of tears as well went into this book. So all of those things were so worth it, because I'm able to make, uh, I'm not only able to like represent stories of these women to like people outside of Pakistan and within Pakistan, but also like change perspective of um, Pakistanis who were born outside of Pakistan. So and honestly, like I wanted to direct this book for little girls, but then it reached so many other people. So I'm not complaining about that. So I'm really happy about everything, and very excited that this book is out in the world. And inshallah, you will be seeing more of such projects from me. I'm currently working on a project which is about women empowerment again and art. So that will be, I'll be announcing more about it super soon. And and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna go through the comments and see if I can pick a winner for the book. And then, and whoever the winner is, if you can please message me on Instagram. My handle is Maliha underscore Z underscore art, or you can just type Maliha Abidi and my profile may pop up. Yeah. So if you can message me with your address, and then I will send you a copy of the book. So I think the winner for a copy of Pakistan for Women is Hajra Shahid. So thank you so much for everyone who joined the live, and congratulations to Hajra for winning a copy of Pakistan for Women. And if you can please email, not email, sorry. If you can please message me on Instagram, and I can send you a copy of Pakistan for Women. And thank you so much, Liberty Books, for giving me the opportunity to come live and be all awkward online and share share about the journey of Pakistan for Women. But yeah, I had a lot of fun sharing about different aspects of this book project. Like I said, it was a really unorthodox sort of a project, but alhamdulillah, we made it, and it's been over a year since the book has been out. So thank you so much for joining, and yeah, thank you. Take care. Allah Hafiz.